Hello again. Just want to talk quickly about this latest bill that's going through Parliament to do with the Rwanda scheme, and that Robert Jenrick and Suella Braverman have both lambasted as basically being useless. And now the Prime Minister has said with this latest piece of legislation that it would allow the government to more effectively remove people from the country, and I believe it also states that Parliament is sovereign in its interpretations of the law. This, though, I do find highly dubious, simply for the fact of, as we've seen with Rwanda recently, where the Supreme Court has been used, and I believe the judges are quite activist on this, with the way they interpret ECHR law, in that basically that the Supreme Court will be used to block further Rwanda schemes. But another point as well is that it's still going to allow individual illegal migrants to make human rights claims against the government, which will further frustrate the system and will just continue allowing people into the country for any reason whatsoever. I find these human rights claims as well to be rather dubious a lot of the time. I mean, we see many times where we have people from countries like Somalia or Syria was another one, where they're going on 3 or 4 holidays a year back to the country that they're supposed to be fleeing from and being in fear of living in. So the whole system itself is it seems to be just a massive Ponzi scheme, really. Ponzi scheme, I guess, is the wrong term. Just a gravy train. Just a gravy train. With every single person at every single level involved in it really laughing in our faces. And I believe it's just a form of legalised wealth extraction from the British taxpayer. There seems to be no will or want from the Border Force, from the Home Office, through to various politicians, legal firms, even our own court systems. None of them seem interested in actually dealing with this. And I do feel that we are getting to a point where we're going to have a complete and utter overhaul of these systems and basically replace every single person who's working in them. I can't honestly see any other way around this, as the whole institutions seem to have been completely corrupted by this ideology of wanting to ship in as many people from around the world into Britain as possible. I can't possibly wrap my head around it, other than I don't know. I genuinely, with the lawyers, as I said yesterday, it's obviously I do believe a lot of that is financially driven, but like people who work in the Home Office, I mean, they get paid no matter what. So I genuinely can't, other than them being dopamine addicts, and every time they frustrate this process and they allow more illegal immigrants into the country, they get a hit of dopamine. That's the only rationalisation I can come up with this, is that the dopamine junkies, a lot of they must be. I can't think of any other rationalisation for it other than that. Apart from that, really, I see this whole Rwanda scheme once again failing miserably. I do believe the Prime Minister's pushing on with it in the way that he is, as a sideshow, so he can then, because he can no longer blame the EU, so this is a way of being able to blame the courts or blame the lawyers or blame whoever, anybody but himself and the party. But as we saw with Brexit, and as we've seen actually with the Rwanda plan to a certain degree, that things can be done when there's enough impetus and motivation behind it to actually do it politically. The government just doesn't actually want to have it done. And once again, I can't understand why the Prime Minister and his people around him aren't just, they have a majority in Parliament. They could be slamming through laws one after the other, and if needs be, they could stuff the House of Lords with Conservative loyalists, so that they could get every single bill through completely unamended if they wanted to. You know, this isn't beyond doable if they really wanted to. Other than, as I've said in a previous video, the Prime Minister possibly has foreign interests or financial interests outside of Britain's interests. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's just sycophantic. But other than that, I'm just lost for words, and I do fear that we're going to end up with some real extremist people in power in the not too distant future, because these so-called adults in the room are just completely spineless and incapable of actually making tough decisions when need be. Anyway, thank you for now. Take care, and please, if you've appreciated and enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and put a comment below. Thank you.